Gohan is one of the most completed Dragon Ball characters. He's the most balanced character. He's at such a sweet spot of a strong fighter, he's kind, he has a family and works to protect them. But those initial qualities of his are not new for anybody that follows Dragon Ball. But because there are so many different layers to his character, we have seen him regress on the modern era. Throughout Dragon Ball Super, Gohan didn't get the respect and screen time that he deserved after being one of the main protagonists of the show itself. He was pushed to the side as show decided to focus more on Goku and Vegeta as main protagonists who were going to continue the trope of rivals turned into friends and now competing on who is going to get stronger, which is fine because they completely follow the line and that is what science are in general. What is that led to this decision being taken with this character? Well, as I mentioned earlier when starting the video, I did say that he's the most balanced character and he was at such a sweet spot. So with those decisions it changed a little bit as they completely removed his fighting spirit at first to bring it back by the end of Super just to betray everything in the movie. And the decision on the movie is not wrong at all. It's a battle of science that is revisiting history and Gohan doesn't really play a huge role there. Unless they wanted to expand the movie even further, which should be done in a series that is going to come out in the near future. So Gohan was first taken away from fighting spirit, makes him a bit more of human that he actually is. Then they tried to play him as he wanted to fight again immediately and that didn't happen for the longest. They didn't have Gohan fly to the future because they wanted to develop Vegeta's character and show his care for his son, which is to bring back what he did on the Android and Cell arc and how much he has really changed since then. Which once again, it was not a bad idea. The execution was a little bit lackluster, but their intention was clear with how they wanted to go on with that. They had two options to pick from and they picked the one that is going to show development of the guy who gets more screen time. So they didn't really do something bad to the show itself. But back to Gohan, he is a character that we really saw developing. We saw him just like a little kid and we followed his steps until he found love of his life and became a father. That's when the downhill really began for his character and for people who got attached to his character at first. It was pretty hard to take as Gohan is part of the many legendary moments that Dragon Ball has been. Because he is such a flexible character, Gohan is very entertaining character in different ways of showing Dragon Ball and he's mostly the best character to create filler with, such as the Majin Buu saga did. His slice of life parts were amazing and Great Saiyaman was a smart idea to really fit the different narrative. We saw how Gohan lives and what he really does. He wants to protect and he will try to get stronger. For that reason, doesn't really have the will to fight all the time, which explains his weakness compared to him when he was a very young boy more centered towards fighting. What Dragon Ball needs to do is find a balance between the main characters of Goku and Vegeta and Gohan. Such a character with so much potential and as close to the fans should not be thrown away like Super did, and after that tournament of power there is a great excuse created for them to slowly make him an integral part of the show. There are different ways of using Gohan, such as when Goku Vegeta are off the training we get more slice of life stuff of Gohan and we see the routines that he goes. He's very entertaining and Dragon Ball needs to be more focused on this stuff in order to create some more diversity on the content that they're putting in. Too much fighting takes away the epic moments and there is little to no surprise when an enemy shows up. Creating time of peace and integrating such stuff should be a main point that Dragon Ball needs to focus on their next series. They can find a balance now, more so than ever, as Gohan's will to fight has been brought back and fair to say very well put together, as he was arguably one of the most fascinating characters on a whole tournament. It showed maturity on his character and it just proved the point of his flexibility. He can grow with a little to no screen time before making an appearance. Having Gohan and Goku do training together create more close family moments between them, as they try to do with Goku putting so much trust into his son's capabilities. It's more or less a blindly trust with Goku hoping that his son has grown out of them. This is a perfect opportunity to integrate also Goten and Trunks. Goten joins Goku and Gohan while Trunks joins Vegeta. They can even grow them a bit older, stronger, make them more mature and show that they are really passing responsibilities on a new generation that is going to come after. There is so much stuff that Dragon Ball can focus on besides bringing new villains or antagonists. New dangerous situations. They need to calm the show down a bit and I feel like this movie did so much and allowed a breathing space for Dragon Ball in the future. A movie retelling with a complete Toriyama's work is more than welcome and I really want it not to be fast-paced. It needs to be focused on everything and I'll be waiting with the hope that Toriyama had the kids on his original work as well. He really needed to have Gohan on his plans for the movie, as they are still part of the Saiyan history, being Goku's and Vegeta's children. They carried that blood and they could be just as much integrated and part of it, making them feel more important and continue from there. It's Dragon Ball, so we will always want epic moments, screams, fight, villains and everything, but I do enjoy slice of life stuff just as much when they are put together nicely, and this show has managed to do that countless times and should continue with that trend. Making Gohan and others feel closer to the audience, don't throw Goku and Vegeta in there all the time without others doing anything. As much as the trope of Goku being too late to the party was overused back in time by Toriyama, it really did help the others develop, and that's what I really like. You can take something like that and implement it again. There are so many roads that they completely seem to ignore and follow one path blindly. Super's criticism most of the time was rightly deserved for so many reasons. Saying that they didn't do anything right is wrong, but they could be done much more, and that's when other people's anger or disappointment towards the show comes from. Hopefully, on a new series we will have a far more balanced show, and while there are still going to be things that certain people don't like, you cannot please everybody. For as long as you're doing most of the stuff right, then there is no problem if certain individuals don't like it. Maybe they just grew out of the show, and that might be a reason. Most certainly, my biggest hope for the new series is Gohan, and I really want to see a lot more of him. Not just fighting, but also his lifestyle, how he functions, and I'm interested to see the dynamic of life that it really follows. We know Goku's and Vegeta's, just use him and add even more variety on Dragon Ball. That was it for this video, guys, and I really hope you did enjoy it. Please leave a like, comment your thoughts down below, and subscribe to this channel with notifications enabled if you don't want to miss out in any further content. I will see you all in the next video. Bye, guys.